There is a time and a season for everything under the sun. And in life, we must recognize that not everyone who walks into our lives is meant to stay forever. Some people are seasonal, and their departure is as necessary as their arrival. It's important to understand that every person serves a purpose, but not every relationship is meant for a lifetime. Life is a series of phases, each unfolding with its own unique set of experiences, people, and lessons. One of the most important yet often overlooked aspects of this journey is recognizing when certain people no longer belong in the current chapter of your life. This is not about resentment or judgment, rather, it's about understanding that everyone comes into your life for a reason, but not everyone is meant to stay forever. Just like the natural world around us operates in seasons, so do our relationships. In every season, there are people who play specific roles. Some come to support you, others to challenge you, and still others simply to be a companion for a period of time. As you grow and evolve, you'll notice that not everyone evolves at the same pace or in the same direction. This isn't a bad thing, but it does mean that certain relationships that once seemed vital will no longer serve the same purpose. The challenge for many of us is in accepting that when a season is over, we must let go of the people tied to that period of our lives. Think of it like pruning a tree. In nature, a tree sheds its leaves when the time comes. Those leaves, no matter how beautiful they once were, must fall away so that the tree can conserve its energy and prepare for a new season of growth. The tree doesn't try to hold on to every leaf. It doesn't resist the natural process of change. It simply lets go. In the same way, we must learn to release people when their season in our lives is over. This is not always easy. We often form deep attachments to the people around us, associating our sense of security or identity with them. Sometimes we think that without their presence, we will lose direction or purpose. But the truth is that holding on to someone who no longer belongs in your life can hinder your progress. You see, relationships are like mirrors. They reflect back aspects of who we are and what we need to learn. When you cling to a relationship that has fulfilled its purpose, you risk stalling your own growth because that reflection is no longer accurate. Letting go requires emotional maturity. It is easy to hold on to someone out of fear of being alone, fear of the unknown, fear of losing the connection. But emotional maturity means understanding that separation is not the end of love or respect. It means recognizing that just because someone's role in your life has come to an end doesn't mean the relationship was a failure. On the contrary, it often means it was successful in accomplishing what it was meant to do. Sometimes, letting go is also an act of love. When you allow someone to move on from your life, you are freeing both them and yourself to continue on your respective journeys. Their departure could be necessary for their growth, just as it may be for yours. By holding on to them, you may be preventing them from walking into a season that's right for them. This emotional maturity also helps us avoid becoming bitter or resentful. Many people carry the weight of relationships that have ended, feeling angry or hurt because someone left, but this mindset only breeds negativity. When you understand that life is a series of seasons, and that people come and go for a reason, you can release them with grace. You can honor the time they spend in your life without feeling burdened by their exit. It's crucial to approach every departure with gratitude. Whether someone leaves your life because of a disagreement, a change in circumstances, or simply because the relationship has run its course, there's always something to be thankful for. They contributed to your life in some way, and their presence, however brief or long, was a part of your journey. When you say goodbye with a heart full of gratitude, you are not only closing a chapter, but also making space for the next one to begin. There is a certain freedom in letting go. It frees you from the emotional baggage of trying to hold on to what no longer fits in your life. It allows you to move forward without being weighed down by the past. And most importantly, it creates room for new people, opportunities, and experiences to enter your life. You cannot embrace what's next if your hands are full of what used to be. As you continue to grow, you'll find that not everyone is meant to accompany you into every season of your life. That's okay. Some relationships will remain lifelong, others will fade away. The key is to trust the process. Trust that every person who leaves your life is making space for someone or something that aligns with the new season you're entering. It's not a loss, but rather a transition. Life is a constant flow of letting go and embracing the new. When you release someone with gratitude and grace, you're not just closing a door, you're opening yourself up to the infinite possibilities that await you. Every relationship in your life serves a unique purpose. Whether it's a friendship, a romantic connection, or a professional bond, each relationship is part of a greater plan to shape your growth and development. However, not all relationships are meant to last forever. When a person's role in your life is complete, their departure might be part of a divine design, something necessary for you to move into the next phase of your life. We often assume that if a relationship ends, it means something has gone wrong. But that perspective is limited. Just as everything in life follows a cycle day and night, the seasons, birth and death, so too do our relationships. The end of a relationship doesn't mean failure. Rather, it may signify that a purpose has been fulfilled. That person came into your life to teach you something, to challenge you in a specific way, or to support you during a particular phase. Once that purpose is fulfilled, sometimes the most natural thing is for them to leave. This is where understanding the purpose of separation comes in. You see, when someone exits your life, it may be a sign that their role in your story is complete. Their departure is not an accident. It may be orchestrated to open up space for something new. Too often, we hold on to relationships out of fear or attachment, believing that without that person, we won't be able to move forward. But that's not true. Sometimes holding on can actually hinder our growth and delay the unfolding of the next chapter. Separation is often a catalyst for transformation. Think about the process of a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. Before the transformation can take place, the caterpillar has to go through a period of separation from the world, from its previous form, and even from its old identity. It's within that separation that true change happens. Likewise, when someone leaves your life, it can push you into a period of self-reflection, growth, and transformation that might not have been possible while that relationship was still active. Many of us struggle with the idea of separation because we view it through the lens of loss. We focus on what we are losing rather than what we might be gaining. But if you look deeper, separation is not so much about losing someone, it's about making room for what's next. That person's role in your life may have been essential up to a point, but now their exit is creating the space needed for something new to enter, whether it's a new relationship, a new opportunity, or simply a deeper connection with yourself. Another reason we find separation difficult is that we often tie our identity and self-worth to the people around us. When a relationship ends, it can feel like a part of us is missing. But this is an illusion. You are not defined by the relationships in your life, nor are you less whole when someone leaves. In fact, their departure can sometimes be a reminder that your worth and purpose come from something much deeper from within you. You are enough with or without that relationship. When you understand that separation is often part of a greater plan, you can begin to see it in a new light. It's not about rejection, failure, or abandonment. It's about alignment. Sometimes people leave your life because they no longer align with where you are headed. They may have been essential in helping you reach a certain point, but now their path diverges from yours. This is not something to mourn, but something to honor. Their exit is making room for you to step fully into your purpose without distractions or unnecessary attachments. Think of it this way: if you were trying to run a race, but you insisted on carrying everything with you, old baggage, relationships that no longer serve you, and ties to people who are not moving in the same direction, you would be slowed down. You wouldn't be able to reach your full potential because you'd be weighed down by the past. But when you let go of what no longer serves your growth, you free yourself to run faster, to reach further, and to step more fully into your destiny. This is why separation should be viewed as part of the divine plan. It's a necessary part of growth. Every time someone exits your life, it's an opportunity to reflect on what they brought to your journey and what lessons you can take with you. Rather than resisting their departure, you can embrace it as a sign that you're moving forward. And let's be clear, this doesn't mean there won't be pain or sadness. Human connections are deep and meaningful, and losing someone, even when it's necessary, can be difficult. But when you understand that every separation has a purpose, that pain can be transformed into growth. You can grieve the end of a relationship while also holding space for the new possibilities that separation brings. Reparation is not something to fear. It's part of the natural cycle of life. Just as the tides ebb and flow, just as the seasons change, so too do our relationships. When someone's time in your life is complete, let them go with gratitude and trust that their exit is making way for something new, something aligned with your next phase of growth. Their departure is not an end, it's a beginning. The people who surround you are often reflections of the beliefs, values, and mindset you currently hold. Every relationship you nurture, every interaction you engage in carries the weight of your personal frequency, shaping the way you think, act, and evolve. But as you grow and begin to embrace new ideas and ambitions, not everyone around you will resonate with the changes taking place within you. This is where the concept of releasing those who no longer align with your vision becomes crucial. It's not about abandoning people, but recognizing that your growth may require you to separate from certain influences that no longer support your evolution. As you progress in life, you will notice that not everyone is moving at the same pace or in the same direction. Some may be content with staying where they are, repeating the same patterns and engaging in the same habits that once made sense to you. But if you are truly committed to your personal development, you will reach a point where you must evaluate the company you keep. You see, the people around you hold great influence over your thoughts and behavior, whether you realize it or not. Their attitudes, beliefs, and energy can either propel you forward or keep you stuck in a place that no longer serves you. One of the most challenging aspects of growth is acknowledging that some relationships, no matter how long-standing or deep, may become hindrances rather than assets. It's not that these individuals are necessarily toxic or negative, but they may no longer reflect the level of ambition, positivity, or drive you are striving for. And the more you surround yourself with individuals who are content with mediocrity, who resist change, or who are unwilling to support your evolution, the harder it becomes to break free from the limitations of your current environment. Consider the idea of influence as an energetic exchange. When you spend time with someone, there is a transfer of energy, thoughts, beliefs, and emotions flow between you, consciously and unconsciously. If you consistently engage with individuals whose energy is rooted in fear, doubt, or stagnation, that energy will begin to affect you. It can subtly diminish your confidence, dampen your enthusiasm, and keep you anchored to a version of yourself that is no longer true to who you are becoming. This is why it is essential to be selective about the company you keep as you grow into the next phase of your life. You may have noticed that when you start to pursue higher goals or embrace a new mindset, some people will resist your transformation. They may criticize your decisions, question your ambitions, or even attempt to pull you back into old habits and ways of thinking. This resistance often comes from their own insecurities or fears of being left behind. It's not that they don't care about you, but your growth highlights areas of their life they may not be ready to confront. Rather than supporting your change, they may unconsciously try to keep you where they are, because your transformation threatens the stability of their comfort zone. Personal growth demands that you rise above the limitations others try to impose on you. It requires the courage to step away from relationships that no longer elevate or inspire you, even if those relationships have been a part of your life for years. This doesn't mean you need to cut people off abruptly or with hostility, but it does mean establishing boundaries and creating space for relationships that align with your new direction. Sometimes this involves a natural drifting apart as your paths diverge, while other times it requires a more intentional decision to distance yourself from individuals who no longer support your growth. In letting go of people who no longer align with your vision, you make room for new relationships that inspire, challenge, and elevate you. The beauty of growth is that as you step into higher levels of consciousness, you attract individuals who are on a similar path. These people may not have been a part of your previous life, but they resonate with who you are becoming. They will encourage your aspirations, celebrate your successes, and hold you accountable to the standards you've set for yourself. Surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals who share your vision is one of the most powerful ways to sustain your growth. It's also important to understand that letting go of people who no longer align with your vision doesn't have to be a painful process. In fact, it can be an act of love and respect. By releasing someone from a relationship that is no longer mutually beneficial, you allow both yourself and the other person to find environments and relationships that better serve your individual journeys. Holding on to relationships out of guilt or obligation only creates tension and frustration, as both parties sense the misalignment but may be unwilling to address it. When you let go with grace and gratitude, you free yourself to move forward without resentment, and you free the other person to do the same. Growth requires you to prioritize your vision over your attachments. It demands that you make decisions that support your highest potential, even when those decisions are uncomfortable. Letting go of people who no longer align with your vision is not about rejecting them, but about embracing your own evolution. It's about recognizing that not everyone is meant to travel with you on every stage of your journey, and that's perfectly okay. In the process of letting go, you will discover a deeper sense of clarity and purpose. You will no longer be held back by the limitations of old relationships, but instead, you will be empowered to move boldly toward your goals. And in doing so, you will inspire others to do the same, whether they are a part of your journey or not. Growth is a personal journey, but its impact is far-reaching. When you align yourself with people who support your vision, you not only elevate your own life, but contribute to a larger movement of growth, empowerment, and success. One of the most profound realizations in life is that holding on to the past can prevent you from stepping into the future that awaits you. Too often, we cling to old relationships, outdated beliefs, and familiar habits because they offer a sense of comfort and security. Yet, if you truly want to grow, you must learn to let go. This process of release is not simply about discarding people or memories, but about freeing yourself from the emotional, mental, and spiritual attachments that keep you stuck in cycles of stagnation. Letting go can be difficult because we are naturally inclined to hold on to what we know. Whether it's a friendship that no longer serves us, a relationship that has run its course, or an environment that limits our potential, familiarity often feels safer than venturing into the unknown. But the truth is, growth rarely happens within the bounds of comfort. To reach new heights in life, you must be willing to release the things that no longer align with who you are becoming. When you hold on to the past, you are essentially living in a state of resistance. You resist the natural flow of life, which is constantly moving forward, evolving and expanding. By clinging to what was, you miss out on the opportunities and blessings that are available in the present moment. Life is dynamic, and it's meant to be experienced in its fullness, which requires embracing change, even when it means letting go of people, habits, and circumstances that once brought you joy or fulfillment. One of the reasons we struggle with letting go is that we often attach our identity to our relationships, our past achievements, or the roles we have played in the lives of others. For example, we might see ourselves as the person who was always there for a friend, the partner who gave everything to a relationship, or the employee who dedicated years to a job. But as life changes, so do these roles. If we are unwilling to let go of them, we end up limiting our own growth. Our identity becomes tied to something external, something that no longer reflects who we are today. Letting go is not about erasing the past or pretending that certain experiences didn't shape you. In fact, the opposite is true. By letting go, you acknowledge the impact that a person or experience had on your life while simultaneously releasing the need for it to continue shaping your future. It's an act of honoring the past without being bound by it. This perspective allows you to move forward with a sense of gratitude, not regret. Emotional attachment is another barrier to letting go. We often fear that releasing something or someone means losing a part of ourselves. This fear stems from the belief that we are incomplete without those attachments. But this is an illusion. You are whole with or without the people or circumstances that once defined your past. Letting go is not about becoming less, it's about making room for more growth, more experiences, and more alignment with your true purpose. I think of life as a river constantly flowing and shifting. If you try to hold onto a rock in the middle of that river, you prevent yourself from being carried downstream to new experiences. The rock represents anything you are unwilling to release: a relationship, a belief, a past version of yourself. Holding onto it may feel secure, but it also keeps you stagnant, unable to explore the vastness of what lies ahead. To truly live in alignment with your purpose, you must be willing to let go of the rocks and trust the flow of the river. Trust is a key element in the process of letting go. Trusting that life will unfold as it should, even when you don't have all the answers, is crucial for moving forward. It's about recognizing that there is a divine order to everything, and that every ending is simply a transition to a new beginning. When you let go with trust, you free yourself from the burden of trying to control outcomes. You stop clinging to the past and instead embrace the possibility of what's to come. Letting go also involves releasing the emotions tied to past experiences. It's not enough to physically distance yourself from a person or situation. You must also release the emotional and mental attachment. This means forgiving yourself and others, letting go of guilt, resentment, or anger, and choosing to move forward with a heart that is open to new possibilities. Emotional freedom is essential for growth because it allows you to approach the future without the weight of the past. There is a deep sense of liberation that comes with letting go. As you release what no longer serves you, you create space for new relationships, opportunities, and experiences that are more aligned with the person you are becoming. It's like clearing out a closet full of old clothes that no longer fit once the space is empty. You have room to bring in things that reflect your current style and needs. In the same way, letting go of past attachments creates room for the new and the better. Letting go is not a one-time event, it's an ongoing process. As you continue to grow and evolve, you will find that there are always new things to release: old patterns of thinking, limiting beliefs, outdated goals. Each time you let go, you move closer to your true potential. You begin to realize that life is not about accumulating more, but about becoming more by releasing what no longer serves your highest good. Letting go is about stepping into the fullness of your potential. It's about trusting that life has more in store for you than you can currently imagine, and that by releasing the past, you open yourself up to a future filled with possibility. The act of letting go is a powerful declaration that you are ready to move forward, unburdened and open to the endless opportunities that lie ahead. It's an act of faith, of courage, and ultimately of self-love. In life, there are moments when the relationships, situations, or environments we are part of no longer serve our growth. As difficult as it may be to acknowledge, holding on to these connections can prevent us from reaching our full potential. Often we hesitate to let go because of the emotional bonds we formed or the familiarity of the situation. However, it is crucial to understand that there are times when the best thing we can do for ourselves and for others is to gracefully release what no longer serves us. This is not only a process of personal liberation, but also a sign of respect for the natural cycles of life. When we hold on to people or situations that are no longer aligned with our vision or purpose, we create unnecessary friction in our lives. We expend energy trying to maintain something that no longer supports our growth. This effort can lead to emotional exhaustion, frustration, and even resentment, both towards ourselves and others. The longer we hold on, the heavier the burden becomes. But by letting go, we free ourselves from this weight and allow the flow of life to guide us toward new opportunities and relationships that are in harmony with who we are becoming. Releasing relationships or situations does not mean that they were bad or wrong, rather. It acknowledges that everything has its season. Just as nature goes through cycles of growth, bloom, and release, so too do our lives. There are seasons when certain people or situations are essential to our development. They may teach us valuable lessons, offer support, or help us grow in ways we never anticipated. But eventually, that season comes to an end, and it is time to move on. Holding on to something that has reached its natural conclusion stunts our growth and keeps us from embracing the new season that life is offering. One of the most challenging aspects of letting go is overcoming the fear of the unknown. We often cling to what is familiar because we are afraid of what might come next. The mind seeks comfort in predictability, even when that predictability is no longer fulfilling. But the truth is, growth and transformation rarely happen within the confines of the familiar. To evolve, we must step into the unknown, trusting that life will provide us with what we need when we need it. Letting go is an act of faith, a belief that the next chapter will offer new opportunities for growth, fulfillment, and success. It is also important to recognize that letting go does not mean failure. Too often, we associate the end of a relationship or situation with personal failure, as though we were not capable of making it work. But this is a misconception. Life is fluid, and change is a natural part of the human experience. Letting go is not about giving up, it's about recognizing when something has fulfilled its purpose and allowing space for something new to emerge. It's a sign of wisdom, maturity, and self-awareness, not defeat. When we let go with grace, we honor the relationship or situation for what it was without holding on to bitterness or regret. This allows us to move forward with a sense of peace and clarity. Too often, we carry emotional baggage from past experiences into our future, which can cloud our judgment and prevent us from fully embracing the opportunities that lie ahead. By releasing the past, we create space for new, more aligned experiences to enter our lives. There is also a level of respect that comes with letting go. By releasing someone or something that no longer aligns with our path, we give them the freedom to pursue their own journey. Holding on to someone out of fear or attachment only creates tension and limits their ability to grow. In letting go, we are not only doing what is best for ourselves, but also for the other person or situation. We allow the natural flow of life to guide them to where they are meant to be, just as it guides us. In relationships, particularly, it can be hard to accept that letting go is sometimes the most loving thing we can do. When two people are no longer growing together, continuing to hold on to the relationship can create feelings of frustration, resentment, or even anger. Both individuals may feel trapped, unable to move forward because they are tethered to something that no longer serves their higher purpose. Letting go frees both individuals to pursue their own growth and happiness without the burden of trying to force something that is no longer working. It is also important to remember that letting go doesn't always mean severing ties completely. In some cases, it may mean redefining the relationship or adjusting expectations. For instance, a close friendship that once provided daily support may evolve into a relationship where you connect less frequently, but still hold mutual respect and care for one another. The key is to allow the relationship to shift naturally without trying to force it into a mold that no longer fits. Letting go can also apply to our internal processes, our beliefs, habits, and thought patterns. As we grow and evolve, we must also release outdated beliefs that no longer serve us. Perhaps we held on to certain limitations about what we could achieve or who we could become. Maybe we've developed habits that once felt necessary but now hinder our progress. Letting go of these internal obstacles is just as important as releasing external relationships. It requires self-reflection, honesty, and the willingness to change. Letting go is an act of empowerment. It frees us from the past and opens the door to a future filled with new possibilities. It requires courage, but it also brings with it a sense of liberation and peace. When we let go of what no longer serves us, we reclaim our energy, our focus, and our ability to fully engage with the present moment. We allow life to flow naturally, without resistance, trusting that each new chapter will bring growth, fulfillment, and deeper alignment with our true purpose. Letting go is not the end, it is the beginning of something new. It is an invitation to step into the next phase of your journey with clarity, confidence, and an open heart. Embrace it and watch as life unfolds in ways you never imagined. The essence of letting go is embracing the natural ebb and flow of life, understanding that growth often requires release. When we cling to the past, whether it's relationships, habits, or mindsets that no longer serve us, we create resistance to the future that is waiting for us. Letting go is an act of wisdom and courage. It allows us to honor the past, learn from it, and then step into the new possibilities that life offers. It frees us from emotional burdens, opens space for growth, and aligns us with our true purpose. By releasing what no longer supports our journey, we not only liberate ourselves, but also allow others to continue their own growth. Ultimately, Letting go is not about loss, it's about creating space for a future filled with new opportunities, fulfillment, and deeper alignment with our potential. It is a necessary process for anyone who seeks to live a life of purpose, freedom, and growth.